Alright, it is 9:58 a.m. and I am done trading DIDY. I did like it in the beginning because it was trading right here and it was like breaking this level of 411 and it had really good price action, but now it no longer really trades like an OTC that I'm familiar with. It just trades like a really ugly pump and dump, but it doesn't even pump, it just sells off. It just keeps selling off and it's nothing that I want to trade anymore. And also the charts get cursed very easily on this stock, so it has like a big wick and then it's not really tradable on E-Trade anymore. So I'm done with this stock, but I did try it a few times and I think I'm a little too comfortable with the fact that I had that big gain the other week, because now I'm like not afraid to take setups, and maybe that's a bad thing. So I do want to go over the few tries I had with this one. I did buy at 938, which was right here when it was starting to potentially hold this 466 level, and then the goal is it getting to VWAP and maybe going even above VWAP. I did try, and this was like a dip buy on morning panic bounce play, 100 shares at 469, and that was at 938. So right here at 469, and my risk level was a day low at 466, and that's what happened the same minute I got out, because it looked like it was going to break the day low, and it did. And unfortunately, it only got a little bit lower. It didn't really, break the day low and then start to really panic like most OTCs do. So I did get out of it for that reason. And then I tried again at 939 with that in mind. And now I was in at 468. So right here is when I got in. And this one did not work out either at 941. Again, it looks like it was going to break the day low, and it did, and I got out right here at 462. So, yeah, I'm done. And, it's actually not a big surprise that after it finally broke this day low of 462, it only went just 2 pennies lower, and now it's starting to make a move towards the VWAP level. If it's just going to do stuff like that, I'm just not going to trade it. I'm not going to give it any more money if it wants to be cursed, and I don't see how it makes sense for the people behind the stock to think that people are going to keep putting their money trying to trade this thing or hold on to this thing if it keeps trading like trash. But maybe there are people out there who like pain. I don't. I gave it a few tries and I'm pretty much done with this one. And then I did try it one more time at 942, and this was right here when it was starting to show that it could try to hold 462. And this was me giving it one more chance, and that was an entry at 465 and a half. So right around here is when I entered one more time, and I do like how it tried to make a move towards the upside. And one thing to take into consideration, I never really cared about the big seller at the ask. It's not here right now, but there was a 100,000 share seller at the ask at 470. I never cared about it because of the fact that when this thing was really uptrending right here, there would be all of these humongous sellers at the ask, but they would just immediately get taken out. So I figured it's going to work or it's not going to work regardless of the big seller at the ask, because the price action is manipulated. So I had that into consideration, and I did sell half of my position at 952, which was right here after giving it some time, and then it was starting to look really ugly. I got out at 464, half of my position, and I did get out right here 958, my last um, portion of my trade, the other half at 461 and a half. And yeah, it's starting to uptrend now. Yeah, when it trades like that, I'm just not going to give it any more money. In fact, I'll actually just delete it here. No hard feelings. I just don't want to trade something that, looks like trash, except for that one time it doesn't. And then it looks not even that nice compared to other stocks out there. So that's pretty much it for right now. I'll make an update later. I don't think there's anything else that I'm really interested in trading, but if there is something, I'll make an update. Otherwise, that's all I have for right now. Alright, it is 10:53 p.m. and I am here to call it off. Overall, I'm going to be down on the day 11 bucks 74 cents with DIDY, 3 trades, and all of them didn't work out at each and every single point when I considered it for a dip buy. This thing just trades really bad. I'm not calling it a pump and dump, but it trades like one, and a really crappy one. It doesn't even bounce and is very cursed, especially when it glitches its charts and the way it trades. But hey, that's fine. It got me good, I guess. I don't want to trade it anymore, and I won't trade it anymore. And the worst thing is that it did eventually get to the goal, which is VWAP. and it only held on to this for 2 minutes, and then it went right back under, and then afterwards it just didn't really do anything else. It dried up, essentially. Yeah, very ugly stock, very toxic the way, it broke the level, and then it just turned around immediately after. That's the kind of stuff that I think is not worth trading, and I did try it. At least I learned from that, and I had experience from that, and I guess if I were to have tried it, let's just see what a sell at best case scenario. 479 would have been on any of these would be fine. Since I was trying to go for an ultimate move towards VWAP, it would have been just under 3%, which is not anything impressive. It didn't get above VWAP and then maybe put up higher lows, which could have been cool, especially with the idea that maybe it could have, tried to make a move towards $5. Sure, it might try to break above $5 at some point, and that could be impressive, but I don't want to trade it anymore because, I've just tried it a bunch of times, not necessarily today, but also a few other days. It's just a really ugly stock the way it trades. And again, it was only up to this point here for 2 minutes that it actually hit the goal. But I guess it at least made a move towards the goal. Just really ugly the way it did it. That's pretty much it. And another thing is that because I was in that trade with DIDIY, yeah, that's the name. I did miss out on this setup, and I was interested in this one, PDPG, because it had a super nice morning spike. It had decent volume, and then it was starting to sell off, and it got under VWAP. And I saw this bottoming price action, and I would have taken an entry in the 29s. And this one did work out. It didn't get to VWAP, but it got right under it, and it was a very predictable setup, and it worked out nicely. Unfortunately, I wasn't a part of it because I wasn't in a position with that other stock. So I did miss this out, but at least it was for a good reason because I was looking at something else. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Never gonna trade that stock again unless it just, has to do some kind of a easy, super easy setup, and it's proven itself not to be toxic anymore. But I won't be looking at it or trying to find setups with it. It has to, I guess, show up in my scanner or do something because I'm not going to really trade something that trades as ugly as it does. That's it for today.